Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. The United States of America and France attack on President of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. I have evidence of the United States of America and France colluding to bring down our great president and liberation leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. And in this video, I will explain to you exactly what is happening. We know a few years ago, Burkina Faso's leader, Ibrahim Traoré, got rid of the puppet leader that was in Burkina Faso, being led by France, and overthrew the puppet-led French government in Burkina Faso. Ever since that time, there have been a number of assassination attempts, and this is coupled with the latest attempt by the United States of America to destabilize Burkina Faso. And before I get to the United States part in the destabilization of Burkina Faso, I will just let you know what happened in December of 2023. Detention and release of French nationals. This is what happened in December of 2023. 4 French intelligence agents were arrested in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. I know I'm butchering that name. If you can pronounce it, let me know. It is pronounced by Ouagadougou. That is the capital of Burkina Faso. So 4 French intelligence agencies were arrested in the capital of Burkina Faso on charges of espionage. Their detention strained Franco-Burkinabe relations, with negotiations for their release stalling over demands from President Traoré, including financial compensation and the extradition of political opponents residing in France. The agents were eventually released in December 2024 following negotiations mediated by Morocco. So ever since the new government has been placed in Burkina Faso, when they would have overthrown the French government, the French puppet government in Burkina Faso, they were overthrown by Ibrahim Traoré and the Burkina Faso's army, because they would have had enough of the nonsense there. They were getting no results, no roads, no services, nothing. That government was just giving away all of its natural resources to France. So the people said enough is enough. And the army itself came together, led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and overthrew the government. And after that, the citizens erupted in joy. They were so happy throughout the streets, celebrating. The world has never seen anything like this. And thereafter, the assassination attempts started until Burkina Faso got so fed up of the French that they expelled all French troops, closed all French troops from the country, and expelled their media and all of that, because they were there to meddle in the affairs of Burkina Faso and overthrow Ibrahim Traoré. Whether by assassination attempt, they didn't care. They just wanted to overthrow him. So ever since that, France has been playing a part in the continued attempt to destabilize Burkina Faso. Now, just recently, the United States joined this attack on our great president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. And Langley a general in the United States Army, he would have met with the Senate, the United States Senate, and he would have summoned the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, to the US Senate. And this is what they had to say at the United States Senate about our great African liberator and hero, Ibrahim Traoré. Have a listen.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traoré and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across, even in Sudan.
When a U.S. general goes on record accusing an African leader of using gold to protect himself, you know something big is happening. In a statement to the U.S. Senate, General Michael Langley, commander of AFRICOM, claimed Burkina Faso's gold.
There you had it, my friends. Michael Langley, the head of the United States Army, declared that the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, is using his gold to protect him. What if he's doing this? What if it's true? So what? Every leader of a country must be protected. How is the United States of America protecting its president? They're using taxpayers' money. So what if the leader of Burkina Faso uses the country's gold and minerals to protect him from the continued Western attacks on a stable government that the people love and want? So what? The arrogance coming from the United States of America and France is unbelievable. Unbelievable. What is the French government using to protect the president of France? They're using taxpayers' money and the army and intelligence to protect the French president. So there's nothing wrong. Even if Ibrahim Traoré was using the country's gold reserves, he won't be using all, he'll just be using a small fraction of it. He is also using the country's gold reserves and minerals to develop the country as well. Without the president, there is no development, because if there was no Ibrahim Traoré, then you would have a puppet-led government in Burkina Faso that gives nothing to the people, do nothing to develop the country, and give away all the gold and resources to the United States and France. And the people would be in poverty. That is what the West want. They don't want to see a prosperous example of an African country, because their biggest fear is that if President Ibrahim Traoré, the captain of the Burkina Faso army, turns Burkina Faso into a well-developed, well-organized, prosperous African nation, then other African countries will say, what? Corruption is the problem. That means we need to get a government for the people and not for the Western powers. And then the West's biggest fear is that this will cause a number of revolutionary movements throughout Africa. and then they will lose total control of the resources in Africa. But then the African people will become so wealthy, Africa will become so developed, it will threaten the Western interests because the West is depending on Africa to remain poor and destabilized, a lot of wars, poverty, in order for them to remain rich and prosperous. So the biggest fear is that Africa would become a prosperous continent with 54 massive countries. So they're trying their best to stop this one country from achieving that goal so that they can say, you see, Africa needs the West. We're here for human rights and we're here to keep order. This is what happens in Burkina Faso. That is what they want. But it will not happen this time around, my friends, because the world, the African continent, and the African diaspora is onto the tricks by America and Europe and their Western allies. This coming Wednesday, there will be a massive rally throughout the Caribbean nation islands in support of the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. And this rally will take place also throughout the world this coming Wednesday, my friends. More details, as more details come to light, we will give you the information, but stay tuned and look out in your country. Join your group in your country that will be protesting or showing support for the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, this Wednesday, as the world, the African continent, and the African diaspora come together and rally behind our great leader and liberator, Ibrahim Traoré. My friends, if you're watching for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. The mission of this channel is to bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora, because we are one people separated by a brutal European white slave trade and colonialism. But those days are obviously over and we're coming back together as one. On this channel, I bring to you breaking news that affect the African continent and the African diaspora. I aim to bring videos to you every day, but once in a while I miss a day, but most times I'm here every day bringing to you content that affect our great African continent and the African diaspora, because it is our mission on this channel to bridge that gap and to protect our people and bring to you the information as it is on the ground. So to support this channel, you can join the channel and become a channel member. You can also subscribe to the channel. The link is in this description box to join the channel and become a member. I also have a travel channel. You can click the link here in this description box and subscribe to that channel as well. You can also just subscribe to the channel. You can also like the channel. You can share the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinion on the channel. Leave a super chat. All those gifts are welcome. Any form of support is welcome, my friends, because we have to keep on the ear, in order to protect our great leaders that are liberating our people worldwide. It started in Africa and it will spread throughout the African diaspora as well. We need leaders who are liberators and leaders who care for their people and strengthen the African diaspora and the African continent. That is the mission of this channel. That is why I'm here almost every day bringing to you videos that affect our people, so that we can become enlightened and we can know what is happening and we can comment and talk and in fellowship. We can get to know each other. My name is Beyond. This is Beyond Uncut. And of course, my friends, thank you for watching this video. And I will see you again tomorrow in the next video. Much love and bye-bye.